All right, this is James Pelton, and this is actually AMA number 3 for today. So I'm trying to get everything in before Thanksgiving, so tomorrow I can just relax, and think about all these wonderful projects that I've had on today. So what I need from you in the audience, if you haven't gotten the picture by now, hit the like button and comment questions that you have. It's pretty easy. Other than that, you can kind of just sit back, relax. But if you need clarification on anything, or you just have questions or even comments, you want just discussion about a certain element of what we're talking about, feel free to bring that all up and we will bring those in as they fit into the conversation. So Jen is here. Good to see you. Crypto Dreco, Anthony, Funny Turo. Just thank you guys for your support. I say it day after day, but I'm just so thankful people come up to watch these, or else no one would want to do an AMA with me. So thank you guys. They're actually here more for you than they are for me. As much as that is a hit on my ego, it's the truth. So Dreco and Mr. Maverick, thank you for joining us here today. Could we start with just having you introduce yourself and a little bit of your background?
Yeah. Hey, I'll kick us off, Draco. Great to be on, James, and great to meet you as well. Yeah, my name's Brian Jones. In Web3, it's Mr. Maverick, but I'm a co-founder along with Draco, Generator, and Grant Maddock with Bourbon-n-Blockchain. So thanks for having us on.
Awesome. What about you, Draco?
Absolutely. My name is Draco. I'm a original co-founder of Bourbon-n-Blockchain and Bourbon-n-Blockchain Services. I'm one of the advisors for the project, and I'm also in charge of a lot of our security protocols. And I'm just glad to be here. Thank you very much for having us.
Yes, anytime. You are welcome. So the project we're talking about today is Bourbon-n-Blockchain. So I'll put a link here. I will share the screen just as we're kind of talking through it a little bit. Do one of you, whichever feels more qualified or whichever is less tired of talking about it, can you kind of give an elevator pitch for what you're building here?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take it. What we've decided, we originally started off Bourbon-n-Blockchain was a social group. And while we were a social group, we were conducting research into several different projects out in the space, much like what you're doing. And we were bringing those projects to a community of like-minded investors, people that were looking for long-term investment opportunities. And as we were creating this project and we were working with our group, we started to find that it became more and more difficult to find good projects. So we took a lot of the knowledge and experience that we had as a research and development group. Originally, I started with Cryptonaires. I was one of the original founders, and I was the lead researcher for Cryptonaires. And I had a small team with me, and we did all of our research, and I actually did the interviews over there. So we brought a lot of that knowledge and understanding of how projects work and what operates properly and what doesn't work in this space. And we started to create our own project. And that's really what brought us to Bourbon-n-Blockchain Services. And the reason why we call it a service is because we provide a service not only to club members, but we also provide a service to blockchain technology. We're going to be opening up several validator nodes. We're going to be doing on-chain delegation, on-chain staking. We're going to be providing some liquidity pools for some DEXs. We're going to support some DEXs. I think we can all agree that that's very important, especially after some of the recent news that's come out with FTX. So we're going to be providing a service to blockchain technology. We'll provide a service to our club members by providing them a very wide, diversified portfolio within all of these blockchains that we're going to participate with in the proof of stake model. And lastly, we're also going to be able to support projects that are operating on these blockchains that we're supporting. There's several projects that we've talked to and that have reached out to us that have said, once you have these validators, we'd love for you guys to show us some of your RPC endpoints that we could utilize for our project, or point your validator towards us to make our project more efficient, run faster and smoother, and have some priority when it comes to those transactions. So that's just a really high overall look at kind of what we're doing and what we're providing.
Okay, no, I think that's good. It gives kind of a, like you said, a 10,000 foot picture of what you guys are doing. So just to make sure that I'm kind of getting it right, it's an NFT collection. And then you're going to use the funds that are from that mint to put into more blue chip type stuff. So not the normal DeFi crazy stuff that I'm usually involved in and that you guys are probably used to being involved in, but you're doing more blue chip stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Exactly. We've all lived through the yield nodes debacle. I know you have too, James.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. I apologize. But what we've all learned the hard way. But I'll tell you, since the very inception of this project, we earmarked around 80% of the total treasury to those top tier assets, the proof of stake assets. Why? Because we believe in them long term. They're proven, and we can kind of justify the model and lay it out for all participants, so they really understand the baskets that they're going to be investing into. I mean, we're also going to do some other interesting things. Draco kind of mentioned them. There's some really unique opportunities that have been presented to us as we've continued to progress. But I know we're excited about maybe participating in some liquid staking and things of that nature. And so we have a lot in store. But the foundation, the 80% foundation, is going to be more in the trusted project side of things. Why? Because we want something to sustain. And I think everyone here listening right now, yourself included, James, has learned that nothing lasts in this space unless it's real yield. And if they can't point to where that yield's coming from easily, then it's probably not going to last. So that's exactly what we aim to do, is to point everybody to exactly where the funds are coming from, be as transparent as we possibly can. We have a page, a transparency page on the website that's going to be complete and open to everybody. So they're able to click on any validator, understand exactly what's going on, what percent yields they can anticipate. It's going to be very clear for everybody. And it's exciting being a part of something that, I don't know, myself, I just have a lot more faith in a structure like this than a lot of these other Ponzi-nomic type projects. So
Yeah, no, but I totally get that. You feel better about, if you're getting other people into it and things like that. It's like an Ethereum validator is something where it's like, okay, I don't think they're going to rug pull or anything.
Yeah, you're right. And if you think about it, the market that we're in right now, it's an exciting time to accumulate assets. So I think if we can just help people to understand the aim behind this and understand what that basket of assets is going to look like whenever we return to a bull market, I think it will really open people's eyes, and these NFTs will become very valuable. Hopefully, right? That's our aim, and our 10-year goal is to see these through all these cycle changes and capitalize on them.
Yeah, absolutely. And people who haven't been around through the market cycles, if this is new to them, maybe if you guys were around for the previous cycle, do you want to kind of just talk about the feeling of now versus then, and just what we might be expecting here in the future as we get back into a better market?
Yeah, I think that, I think it's important to highlight one of the things you brought up, first of all, was that we're not trying to participate in a bunch of tokens that are, token number 3,950, whatever that is, by the way, on coin market cap. We're actually focusing on those top tier assets within the top 100 assets within coin market cap. So the type of projects that we're going to be validating on and that we're going to be participating with are projects like Ethereum, BnB, ADA, Dot, Matic, AVAX, Link, Atom, like projects that people have heard of, those top tier assets. We're also going to explore a little bit outside of there as well with some new things that are coming up. Things like DAG that people are aware of. DAG's a pretty strong project. We want to participate with DAG, absolutely. But that's not going to be part of our the top portion of our allocation. We're going to be a little bit more risk adverse, if you would, with something like that, right? Because it's outside of the top 100 tokens. But more to answer your question, markets go through cycles, and we're aware of that. What that brings up is a really good point that Maverick and I have really, really stressed to people, is that this is one of the worst times to open a project, but it's also the best time to open a project. If you look at past market cycles, we go through all these different feelings, right? It's almost like feelings of grief. You start to have this feeling like it's going to come back, and then you're at the bottom, but you're not at the bottom. Then you get depressed and walk away. It's a whole different thing, right? And we realize that we're in a bear market and that we're somewhere near the bottom. We don't know where the bottom is. It's a fruitless task to try to find the exact bottom, but we're near the bottom. And we realize that as a project. And that's why we're opening the project now, is to obtain those assets at this level, because in the future, it's going to be really important. These assets are going to come back. You're going to have 5x's on larger assets, 10x on larger assets, and then it's going to get all the way to where some of these smaller assets are going to hit 30 to 50x, right? We know that stuff's coming. So that's why we're preparing a project like this, where it's investing in all of these different opportunities, but also giving back to blockchain technology, which is really important.
Yep. Absolutely. I think that's really helpful. What can people expect? I keep waiting for this to stop, but it never stops, you know? What, for people who aren't familiar with validators or, you know, what you guys are doing, what kind of monthly returns? I think it's good to like set people's expectations, you know, and you're not promising 40% a month like some projects were. What kind of returns should people kind of expect, ballpark?
Yeah, that's a difficult one to answer, James. I will tell you this: it really depends on how well the mint goes, right? Especially when we first start, because we have kind of a diversified plan, but that plan is based off of a full mint. Well, if we don't quite hit that immediately, we're still going to deploy funds. We're still full steam ahead because honestly, the initial allocations that people are buying these for, it rings true whether we invest it now or we invest it after the mint's complete. But without giving too much, we believe that we'll be able to target somewhere in the neighborhood of 1% and 4%. I think that that's a realistic goal, right? And the 4 is a stretch, and the 1's a really really safe assumption. So we try not to give an exact. I know, like anytime we kind of preach this to people, and I'll let Draco follow this up because he's good at explaining it. But we've preached to people that if they promise you a specific return, then run for the hills, right? Because chances are that specific return is not going to last, or it's coming out of the pockets of new investors.
Yeah, I would only add to that to say that it's hard for us to give a hard number because there's variables, and those variables we have no control over. I actually wrote a response to somebody in our Discord this morning that asked a detailed question, and I said there are variables to answer the question of exactly how much you'd get back, but you can do the math yourself. For example, one variable is the cost of the asset at the time of purchase. If we bought Ethereum today versus at its all-time low for the last 3 years, or its all-time high over the last 2 years, there's a variable. The other variable would be how many assets are going to be earning rewards together. So are we participating in 4 blockchains or 15 blockchains? That changes the numbers, right? But we won't know that until we deploy funds onto these assets. Also, the cost of the assets when claiming the tokens. So if we're dead even where we're at right now, we can give you a really good idea of how much you're going to make because we can take the math and say, today's cost of the token is this is what it was yesterday, and this is what it will be in a month when we claim them, and that will be the return value. But one thing that I think it's important for people to understand is that the value is not the percentage of rewards from validators. Those are two different things. 1% of Ethereum, for example, as a return at $1,000 per token is different than when we hit all-time high and Ethereum's $5,000 per token. It's the same amount of rewards, but it's a different value. And I think that's hard for people to wrap their heads around. We can't assign the value to that until we have the assets, we're collecting rewards, and we're paying out the membership rewards, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and one thing I like about projects like this is it forces people to be diamond hands a little bit. Where if you buy Ethereum, I actually just sold some Bitcoin today. There was an investment I wanted to get into, and I was like, oh, I have this Bitcoin sitting around doing nothing. I'm just going to go ahead and sell it. And projects like this force you, but you buy the NFT and then it's put into Ethereum, which you should hold. You should be holding Ethereum till 4K at least, probably. And but people don't necessarily have that discipline or whatever, so you have these NFTs that kind of help with that as well. But yeah, I totally agree. It's if you're investing in these blue chips, it's the blue chips going up that's going to be a lot of the return. Can I ask, by the way, this is an incredible website. I love the website. Like, it's just so clean. Like, I was even looking at this. I was like, that is cool, you know? Like, it just looks really nice.
We are so proud of our website developers. We have some website developers from Brazil. They're working on our team. They're intricate, obviously very, very high level and people within this space, and they've created something that's just amazing. We're really proud of them.
Awesome. And then, so how are rewards going to be paid out? I guess I should ask that. I see that here. Are you paying out in the blue chip tokens, or what are people going to be receiving?
So I think that's the future vision. But at the beginning, James, we're going to be providing it in USDC. So
Okay.
we're going to have a D app. They'll be able to log in. It's going to show all the NFTs that they own, and then they'll be able to claim their monthly rewards. So
This
pretty
is so
simple.
cool. I could just hang out on your website. I mean, look at this. This is cool. I think my
Yeah,
kids would like this website too. Maybe if it wasn't bourbon, I'd probably have my kids go play around with it a little bit.
yeah. We have a 3D artist that Draco actually found. He's a great individual. His name's August, and August. It was really easy for us to pick August as our artist because he kind of just one day on a call he started whipping out for us on screen some 3D images, and we were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And then in a matter of minutes, we were in awe. And so he made it. It was a very good sales pitch, I'll say that. And
He
he's
was
a great
literally
individual.
creating the artwork in front of us.
Man,
Yeah,
yeah, you'll
he's
have
great.
to keep his name handy because if I ever end up doing a project or something, this is how I would want my website to look. Is something, some of these websites, well, that I'm going on a monologue, but some of the websites in crypto just look so terrible, and it doesn't give you a lot of faith in the product that
That's
they're
right.
making.
It
So
means a lot for you to say that because we wanted to put our best foot forward. We knew that if people were to look at our project and it was a basic text type website that we would probably lose people immediately. We wanted people to understand that we're sparing no expense. Specifically with the website, we're doing everything we can to make something visually appealing and that is up to date. Obviously, we're using React. You can see the React models in the background and things like that. So we're using all the technology that's available to us. And I think we've applied that as we continue our conversation to all aspects of our project as we move forward.
that's awesome. Yeah, and I don't mean to. By the way, just for everybody in the audience, a little secret tip here. I'll put this up. James Pelton's secret tip.
Uh-oh.
For projects that come to me to ask for an AMA or something like that, one of the first things I look at is if the website is well done or not. Because websites that are just thrown together, I kind of know, okay, they're not real serious about this. They just threw something together to get it out there. But well done websites is something that I really look for. So could you talk a little bit more? What else is going to be with this NFT? So it sounds like the validator nodes is a part of it. You talked a little bit about other investments. Do you want to just talk more about some of the benefits of this NFT?
Yeah. So this is a club membership as well. And this club membership, we aim to breathe the bourbon piece of Bourbon-n-Blockchain into the club. So what that means, James, is actually a member of ours reached out early on in the development of this project. His name is Tim, and it just so happens that Tim was the founder and the master distiller at Shire Distilleries just out of Houston. I'm located in Texas. It didn't take me very long to ask him if I could come pay him a visit. I did. We toured the facility, very impressed, and they're great individuals. They're a small outfit, but they're still very large. They've grown very large in the 5 years that they've been open and publicly distilling. So we're really excited about bringing them into Bourbon-n-Blockchains, and how we're going to do that is we're going to be conducting community-wide barrel picks, which means if you're an NFT holder, you'll be able to log on and, we'll be able to purchase small samples. And these samples we can share together and we can vote on which ones we like the most. And then we can buy the barrels and bottle them specifically for the NFT members and the club members here. So we put a lot of thought and effort into this. There's actually a lot more detail to it than that on how we'll distribute the events that we're going to host. But we're real excited about what the future holds. And who knows, as we grow, this is a long-term project, right? This is something that's going to be around for quite a while. So we're even thinking further down the line how to further instill that bourbon piece into the Bourbon-n-Blockchain name. So yeah, stick around for that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to take us right now. We're centrally focused on launching, but shortly thereafter, people are going to start seeing these opportunities pop up. It's going to be fun.
Okay, actually, we'll have to connect on this maybe off air because I'm actually an investor in a bourbon company. They go around and they help new bourbon because the bourbon has to sit in a barrel for a couple of years before it can be
That's
bourbon,
right.
and so they need financing for those couple years, and they offer super good terms. So I'm actually a part owner in a whole bunch of bourbon operations. So that could
Who
be
would have known?
who would have known?
Who would have thought?
And you know what? I don't even like bourbon very much, but I was like, I'll invest in it. You don't have to like necessarily what you're doing. So,
Sure.
anyways, we can talk about that off air. That's very cool. Question from the audience. And yeah, audience, if you have questions, again, you hear enough from me. I'd love for you guys to direct things. But is the team locking up ROI for the first 6 months to build a treasury so that you'll have enough for, the validator nodes and things like that? Or are you going to start paying out right away?
Yeah, so the way that we're going to conduct that is we're going to actually leave that up to the community. So part of the way that our project is going to be ran, it's going to be ran similar to a DAO, but we're not really a DAO, right? We're a club. So as club members, when you purchase an NFT, you have club member rights, and part of those rights are to vote, and you can also put things up for vote. So we'll let the community decide what direction they want to go in. Now, initially, it will take time for us to accumulate the assets and launch these validators. There will be like a baked in period of time from like 1 to 2 months before they can start kicking out rewards. But then if the community wanted to compound in order to make the rewards larger, or try to like dredge through the bear market, that's not something we're opposed to. But at the same time, we think that once people are part of the club, they'll be able to kind of help us make those decisions as a group instead of us making the decisions for them.
Yep, I like that. I think that's a good way to do it. That's how I would want to do it as a project owner too, because then people can't get upset with the decision.
Right. You voted for this, right? We did this together.
Yep, you chose
Right.
that, so it is what it is. So I was gonna wait more until the end, but people are asking about it already. So the first question is there a whitelist? Second off, how do you get a whitelist? Third off, when is mint? And maybe just all kind of those details.
Yeah, I'll take this. Actually, we do have a secured mint, is what we're calling it. The secured mint will take place on the 25th, so in just 2 days. We do. It will go live to the public on the 27th. We do also have kind of a middle ground for anybody that maybe wasn't able to get whitelist. If you jump into the Discord, Rosie is one of the community managers that we have, and she's incredible. She set up a really cool game in the Discord. All you have to do is, it's really simple. Everybody there will show you how to do it if you're interested.
It's popular.
Kill a bunch of chickens is what they call it. It's a game, but yeah. And once you earn enough, then you'll receive that free secure mint. And when I say free, obviously there are free mints, but you're able to participate at the very beginning of the mint. So it kind of guarantees you an opportunity to get in at the lowest price. So yeah, it's coming up quick, James. Really is. So we've been working on this since June, though. So trust me, this wasn't something thrown together at all.
Yeah, no, you know what? Your website is too good. Where it almost puts me out of a job because, like, basically all the questions people have, I can just show these, and I was like, well, those can't be questions anymore. But yeah, it's 500 USDC. It's going to be on Polygon. And by the way, guys, I've been using multi-chain to bridge over to Polygon, and it works really well. But if you don't have stuff on Polygon, I don't have a ton over there, but super easy to bridge. It's going to start on the 25th for the secure mint. There's 1,000 secure mint spots, and then OG. What's the difference between the secure mint and the OG mint? Are those just different?
They are. So the secure minters will be able to mint on the 25th. The OG minters will then get to mint on the 26th. It'll go live to the public on the 27th. So that's kind of this structure that we have. Hey, and just to clarify, we did change here recently, listening to our community. The mint price is not 500 USDC until after the 5,000th NFTs minted. It's 450 for the first 2,500, 475. So again, that's kind of a recent change that the community's really been asking for, and so made good sense. Yeah, just want to clarify for anybody listening.
Yeah, it gives a little incentive for the whitelist, the whitelisters in the OG.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So yeah, and if you want one of the whitelist spots, yeah, hop into Discord, and they'll show you how you can possibly do that. No limit to the amount of NFTs. And then yeah, you get access to the club. Do you want to talk? You talked a little bit about this already, but do you want to talk a little bit more about what's going to be in the club, the education piece, and is it going to be similar to Cryptonaires, or how are you guys thinking about structuring that?
Yeah, I can take that. So the club is really centered around the project itself, right? So we're going to have what we have been discussing as on-chain utility and off-chain utility. So our on-chain utility is going to be the Bourbon-n-Blockchain service is going to provide people access to all of our products and services that we've created, our website, our DApp, the Discord, like everything that you can connect with and understand from, being able to connect to all of the treasury assets, conduct your own audits, and then we'll also conduct audits of the project as well for people, but everything will be there for you to kind of conduct your own audit as well. So all of those things will be part of that. But also, as a club member, you get to vote, right? Like we've already talked about a little bit. You'll be able to help steer the direction of where the project's going, specific assets that we're reinvesting into or investing into a new product or service or blockchain that's out there. Like, for example, A0 is a project that's out there, right? A lot of people like A0. We like A0. It sounds great. We'll be able to put that into our basket of assets, but obviously, within reason. So the only reason why we know about A0 is because the communities are coming to us and telling us about these things. Hey guys, take a look at this. And then when it comes to off-chain membership access, that's where people will have the opportunity or the option to participate with Bourbon and things like that, where we'll be providing them, very discounted opportunities to purchase Bourbon from our partners and participate in large group events. One of the group events that we're getting ready to start getting ready to push together once we launch is we'll actually be able to go to the distillery in Texas and do a bottling as a community. And we want to bring as many people as we could possibly bring there. And obviously we don't know the exact date right now, but that's something that we're really excited to do because it brings even more utility to this, to the membership as well.
Yeah, we have also teamed up with a few different groups along the way, James. So membership will also mean like, for example, Grid Plus. We partnered up with Grid. We're good friends with the founder. It's built here in the U.S. in Austin, Texas, in fact. So we'll be offering discounts for all partners to things. We have teamed up with Crypto Ed courses.
Yep.
Critical Complex David is helping to put some beginners courses because we hope to maybe foster some new members of crypto in the future, and they will help us to help foster and educate those individuals. So we're expanding it as we go, James. Right now, it's all about the validators, though. It's about the mint and setting up the validators. So
Right. Yep. One thing at a time. I totally get that. Well, yeah, getting the mint out, and then you can focus on things after that. Can I ask? I know what I would answer to this question, but I kind of want to hear what you guys would say. So there's a few projects that are trying kind of the same validator. That people are just burned everywhere, so they're like, well, let's go do validators. So we have like Wolfer Finance is doing one, and On-Chain Crypto, who is a YouTuber, he's doing one. Cardinal House. What would you say? Should someone come to this project instead of just one of those others that are doing validators?
Yeah, I can take the first portion of that because I know Maverick will be able to follow it up and make it sound much better with his accent. So the first part of it is I would say that we have a very, very support-based structure. What we're trying to do is actually support other projects in crypto. We're also trying to support blockchain technology itself. And by doing that, it limits what we can participate in. Some of the projects you mentioned and then other ones that we've observed in order to create this model are participating in things that stray way far away from that original concept. Some people are participating in DeFi and they're getting wrecked, but they're utilizing member funds to do that. They're also participating in venture capitalist ideas that aren't panning out or that aren't coming to fruition because of the market, and that's getting people wrecked. So we don't plan on doing any of that. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not reinventing the model. The yield is already there and it's established on paper with these blockchains. We're just participating in a large group. We're taking away all the barriers to entry to participate in validation, the large upfront cost, the technology that you have to have, whether it's hardware or software, the coding experience, and being able to maintain that long term. We're taking away all those barriers, and the NFT holders and club members, all they have to do is have that NFT. They pay their $1 a month service fee to the project, and they claim their rewards, and that's it. We take care of all the other things, and we purchased our own servers in order to do that even better, so that we don't have to pay for another service to host our nodes. We actually have all of our own servers so we can do it ourselves. So I think that makes us a lot different, and it makes us more utilitarian in the sense of servicing blockchain rather than just doing anything and whatever comes across our face in order to support.
Yep. Nope. I think that makes a lot of sense. Mr. Raverick, did you want to add to that? I forgot to wait for your accent.
Oh yeah, you got to wait for his accent.
Putting me on the spot, guys. No, so What I will say is that a lot of these projects, like Draco said, they've treated some of the funds as a venture capitalist fund, and that's something that we don't think is smart to do, nor is it what people were sold originally in some cases. So we're going to be very careful to make sure that we're sticking to our mission statement, and that is supporting blockchain technology. This is very much a service protocol. Okay, we're not taking chances. We're going with established means of producing yield in an effort to, in the long term, provide a great source of extra income to individuals, and simply just not gamble with people's money. So that's the structure we believe in. We believe is the safest and the strongest long term. And so yeah, that's what we're going to do, James.
Okay, I think that's a good answer. Critical complex channels is really great answer. So that confirms it. Can I ask, just out of curiosity, so you mentioned a DAG node, and Funny Turo was asking about the Kyoto validator nodes. So you kind of have your Bluechips, and then like you said, they're probably 2x, 3x in the bull market. Then you have kind of the altcoins that are probably 10x or 20x in the bull market, but they're also hit or miss.
Right.
So how are you guys kind of navigating that? Are you going to start with mostly and then just a little bit into kind of the more experimental ones, or how are you guys thinking through that?
Yeah, we actually published a document in our Discord that kind of explains it a little bit, and it's a fluid document, right? We're not going to be able to say we can stick to it 100% because the market always kind of determines your decisions, and if you're not willing to be flexible, you're going to break, right? So specifically, we're going to be putting approximately 60% of our allocation towards the top 25 crypto assets, and then as we go down the line, we'll be able to fan that out, right? So from 25 to 100, we're looking at somewhere in the allocation of 20%. From 100 to 500, somewhere in the allocation of 10%. And then when you get outside of that, we have like another 10% of allocation to play with for for example, like earlier when we talked about coin market cap token number 3,900, then we still have enough allocation to play with that. And that's still a lot of money with a protocol like this. So we're not going to be ignoring those things. We are going to look at those things and evaluate them on a case by case basis, but they're not going to have as much weight as some of these top tier assets that have already proven themselves and that have gone through either several bear markets or that are surviving the current one that we're in right now.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, it's just that constant balance of, would you rather have a, very confident, smaller yield, 1, 2, 3% a month, or do you want a risky 20% a month, but you also probably lose all your money, So it's just kind of that constant balance that we're all trying to find for sure.
I would say we're a little more conservative, but we will be looking at other options, right? We're gonna participate in several different options. So we're gonna be conservative because it's not our funds, it's club member funds. This is a whole project together. But at the same time, if the entire community says, hey, we really want to participate with this project, this is really good, we like it, then that's what we'll do. That we will listen to our community and do that.
Okay. Nope. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So I think one last thing I kind of want to talk through, and then we can open it up to anything you have. I was going to say your website's too good, where it just kind of answers all the questions that I was going to ask. But let's talk through your roadmap and maybe just kind of how you guys are thinking about dates on some of these things and where we're at.
Yeah, so our roadmap as it stands is nearing an end of at least what's been published. Okay, what I will say is we will be publishing shortly after mint the 10-year horizon, right? So when we started this, we envisioned, what is this going to look like years from now, and we want to help portray that in the best way possible. So yeah, we do have a roadmap there. So yeah, so we're going to be publishing a little bit more in-depth stuff after the fact, and again, leveraging the community and listening to the community. So right now, obviously, we're in section 2, 3. We're looking to actually mint out in just a few days. Q1, we're going to be using that time, at least the first month or so of it, to establish the validators. It's kind of a technical exercise in some cases. It's not like you can just spin these things up automatically. And I wanted to add, James, one other thing that kind of separates us is that not many other projects are utilizing their own servers to do this. Servers are a big investment. Okay. We have 4 enterprise grade servers that are housed in a secure facility that's designed specifically for this purpose. So the uptime is going to be far superior than what I could achieve at my residence, right? Or what we have to trust in a VPS from, because VPS is another solution. But VPS is, you're at the will of whoever the operator is of the VPS, and so we're looking to really operate this in a true business fashion. But what that allows us to do, though, also, James, is to scale at a much greater rate at a much cheaper cost. When people are using VPSs to do this, the cost goes up exponentially as you continue to add value, or you continue to multiply those assets and those earnings. We have a stagnated cost, and we're able to support. It would blow your mind how many nodes we're able to support. So we're super excited about it. That also allows us to predict more efficiently than a lot of other people what our costs are, and to keep us out of trouble from a cost perspective. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, just in case people don't know, it is some of the things that you don't have to worry about if you buy an NFT that's doing a validator. First off, I think you need 32 Ethereum for a validator node. Is that correct, or is that changed?
That's correct.
For an Ethereum.
Okay.
Yep.
So, if you wanted to spin up your own Ethereum node, you would need $32,000 in change, 128,000 during the bull market. And then it is a lot of technical work. People think, okay, I have my 32 Ethereum. I'll just set up a validator real quick, but it's not easy. And then uptime is important. And there is maintenance and things like that. So having all that outsourced is very attractive to me. I don't want to be messing around with that kind of stuff.
No, that also brings up another good point, because if you were to do your own, let's say you wanted to open 10 validators, and each one of those ETH validators, we'll pick an arbitrary number, was $50 on a VPN, right? A virtual private network, or a VPS, a virtual private server. So if you had a VPS for each one of those, you'd have to pay, $50, right? Well, when we have our own servers, we can run 500 of those for the same price, because we can put them all on our server. And we don't have to pay for each one individually. So whether we were running one of those or 500, it would have the same cost. So that's something that makes us much more flexible, and it really reduces our cost long term, because we don't plan on having one Ethereum validator node. We plan on having several Ethereum validator nodes. So that makes it a little bit easier for us to scale as a project. And people have asked us, hey, $1 a month for service fees, is that going to be able to cover all of these expenses? And the answer is yes. We're planning ahead. We don't plan to be here for 6 months and then figure it out. We're not planning to be here for 1 year and see how it works. We plan to be here for long term. One of the horizons that we've talked to people about is, how long does this type of project operate, or what's the horizon? And the answer is, if proof of stake continues to be the number one way of validation in the cryptocurrency atmosphere on blockchain, then we can last that long. That's what we're aiming to do. That's how we're formulating this project.
Yep. Potentially, barring things that could happen. Yeah. Lifetime rewards,
right.
like
It's crypto, right?
Right. Not financial advice. So I need to get a ticker that says not financial advice.
Exactly.
Are you planning on doing any point of proof of work stuff, or just proof of stake?
No proof of work. We're definitely not set up and established for a model like that. There's a whole lot of barriers in proof of work that we're just not set up to tackle. Electricity costs being one of them, energy costs. If anybody's interested in proof of work, we have some good friends over at Fraction Mining. Alex with Tactical Investing is a good friend of ours, and they're the specialists in that. But proof of stake, I think, if you're asking for an opinion, proof of stake is it's going to be a wave of the future. Why? Because energy is becoming more and more difficult to obtain at an inexpensive price. And as we know, mining Bitcoin becomes very unprofitable at times like this. So yeah, at this time, no proof of work, all proof of stake.
Okay, yeah, that's a whole nother beast.
It really
another
is.
problem I've run into with mining is new miners coming out that make your old miner just completely worthless. So I've been mining Kahina, and Bitmain just came out with a new miner that makes all the previous miners completely worthless. And so that's awesome. What expertise does each team member bring to the operations of the project? There's a good question.
That's a great question. I'll start with the first part of it. So two of the members on our group were part of the original founders for Cryptonaires. One of them being Grant Maddock and myself. While we were there, we learned a lot. We worked with a lot of different projects. We onboarded projects, we denied projects. We conducted research into, I don't know, just guessing, maybe 200 to 300 different projects while we were going through that bull market. And that gave us a lot of exposure to different markets and different projects and how they operated, both in the DeFi space, in the blockchain space, and in all different types of areas of crypto. So that really gave us a lot. But also during that time, myself personally, I found myself going down a lot of rabbit holes for security. I was contracted by different companies and different projects to help with security. So that really helped. I was able to help recover a lot of people's funds for mistakes that they've made, little things like that. But I've also gotten to meet large communities, and I've done large, conversations and AMAs with projects such as like Strong Block. I know Strong Block obviously had their issues as well, but I've gotten to address entire communities about protecting themselves, protecting crypto, putting their projects and their assets onto hard wallets so that they'd be able to protect themselves more from vulnerabilities. So we've really learned a lot from this space, and we're bringing all that knowledge to what we're creating here.
Yeah, as far as me too, that's a great question too. We don't get asked that as much as you would think, right? I don't mix my real life and Web3 because, truth be told, they're completely different. I'm in oil and gas. I have been in oil and gas industry for 17 years. Went to school for it, graduated, live in Texas. It's a perfect fit, right? But managed and been a part of managing large scale projects. I'm talking from the million to the $1 billion level. So I'm used to understanding project dynamics, how you need to, or what is necessary in order to establish something in the correct manner and how to keep track of it and keep things on task. Although I feel like Jen, who is also one of the co-founders, is kind of the one who keeps us straight. Those are the qualities.
100%.
Yeah, she does. She does a great job too. But those are kind of the qualities I bring to the table: is professionalism, real world business, and a passion for crypto. I've been in this for several years now, and become great friends with Draco, Grant, and Jen along the way. So it was a perfect fit. We all share kind of the same moral compass, if that makes any sense. We know each other in real life, and we know we want to create something special that people can trust in and believe in. And so we were kind of just a perfect fit.
Yeah, you bring up a good point too, real quick. You said that this is, you bring a lot of real life experience to this project, and you also bring a lot of reality. This is not a Web3 business, right? We're doing this as a real business model. We have LLCs connected to this business model. All of us are docs to our attorneys that have opened up our business model. We have a terms of service to operate and become a club member because we're a real business, right? So we're trying to bring real business model to crypto, and we're trying to bring that real business model to this type of environment. So I think that's very powerful, and that's what this space needs, is more things that are tangible and real businesses rather than fly by night nonsense that's going to get you wrecked.
Yeah, in this space, it's funny that we give like these 25-year-old kids or whatever. I'll call them kids. I'm 35,
Right.
so but we give them, $50 million, and then we say, "Hey, good luck with that," or whatever. And then we wonder, "Oh, how did they lose our money? How did that possibly happen?" And you're really right. Like they, don't have no business experience, have no financial experience, and then we're like, "Hey, go invest this $50 million into protocols." And so I totally get it. And I wanted to say, Jen, I wasn't going to say this because I wasn't sure if it was sexist or not, but I think every project needs a woman to help keep everybody on task, and it just would be
We
so
agree.
helpful.
100%. That's exactly what
agree.
she tells us. Hey, boys, shut up. We're busy. We got to do this. Or,
Yeah,
hey, focus on this, guys.
man, that would help. So many projects would benefit from that, Jen, if you wanted to go help out other people as well. So definitely need that. Okay, well, that's all the questions I have. We have a YouTube video. You want me to go ahead and try to show that here real quick?
You know what? Yeah, if you can mute it while it's going, I'll explain why I think that this is important to show. So one of the things that's come up several times is the NFTs, right? When we first started, people were questioning like, what kind of NFT project is this, right? We're not like your typical NFT project. We're very different. This is a service protocol that is backed by NFTs, right? So what that means is that we're actually taking the original idea of what an NFT is, tokenizing or digitizing an asset, and we're applying that to a club membership. That's really what the NFT is. Outside of that, it has obviously some artistic value. We're also taking some of the things that have happened in the Web3 space and applying it to this project. These are examples of our NFTs. So each one of these, as they rotate, is one example of an NFT you could mint. And our 3D artists, like we said with our website, we've spared no expense. We're trying to make something that people are proud of. So these are obviously representations of bourbon because we're Bourbon-n-Blockchain. And our 3D artist has handmade every single one of these and created them for our community. So we're really proud of that. But ultimately, the NFTs are the club membership. It's a digitized club membership. And that's what it represents. The real pen to paper is what the project's going to be doing when it comes to creating rewards and creating a yield and participating on blockchain. That's where the pen hits the paper for this project.
That's awesome. That was a really cool video. So the artwork is just awesome. I love it. Armax says, "Great, I'm 9 years sober, and congratulations." But it's not real.
Absolutely.
Bourbon. So you could still be in if you want to, because it's not real. But I wouldn't recommend going on the bourbon trip to Texas if you do.
We'll support you either way.
We'll blacklist your bourbon side of your membership if you participate. How about that?
There you go. There you go. Maybe we can get some other perk for him or something.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, this is great. Do you guys feel like we touched on everything? Anything else that you want to final words of inspiration or motivation for people?
Yeah, one thing that we brushed over and that we didn't really review too much, James, was like the rewards model and how it's going to affect us long term. So the way that we have it all established now, it's important for people to understand when we start this thing off, the rewards as they stand, 50% of all of everything brought in by the protocol is going to be returned to the NFT holders. Okay. 45% of that is going to be returned or is going to be re-injected into the protocol to continue to grow, right? We're going to add additional validators and continue to scale, like Draco mentioned earlier. And then 5% just goes to the team here. We have a lot of expenses associated with this. You know that. We have them under control. We know what to expect, but that is to help support the protocol long term. One unique item that we came up with that we're really, really excited about is I think we're the first project to introduce what's called a sliding rewards mechanism. And what that means is it's the old adage, always take profit. All right. Don't ever just hold to oblivion. This forces us as the club, whenever we hit another bull market, everybody can vote. Okay, let's crank our rewards all the way up to 75%, right? So that we can capitalize on the price action that there is currently. So that's the way it's structured at the moment. Club members will be able to vote as the market shifts and changes, and then everyone's rewards will scale, because when we're at highs, we don't want to continue to reinvest at a high level. We want to reward club members at that point. So just understand that we're listening to the community. We definitely want to capitalize and return everything we can to the members, especially when it's a prime time to do so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think the only other thing that I'd like to bring up is that if people are interested in minting, one of the things that we're also doing is we're doing minting giveaways during our minting process. And we've been talking to our community about this, and I think it's pretty powerful because it's not that we're just giving these away, right? That nothing that we give away is going to take away from the treasure. We're paying for every one of these NFTs. So for the first 2,500 NFTs, we're giving away 4 free NFTs to people that mint during that process, and then 4 NFTs for the next 2,500, 5 NFTs for the next 2,500, and then at the end, from 7,500 to 10,000, we'll give away an additional 12 NFTs. So for those that weren't keeping up, that's going to be 25 NFTs that we're giving away to our community during our minting process that we're paying for as a team, but it also helps encourage people to participate.
Awesome. Nope. I like that. Yeah. So definitely hop in the Discord. Honestly, just from talking to you guys, I'm not in the Discord yet, but it sounds like a fun place to be. It sounds like a fun community. So again, I'm going to post the link to there. So the call to actions, which is what I like to end with. I'm a marketer by trade, but call to actions is definitely join the Discord. It's completely free. You can go check stuff out there, and then keep an eye on the mint. So the website has all the mint info. This is so nice. It's not every page. Yeah, it is. This is incredible. But yeah, mint, it's going to be 450 for the first, and then 475, then 500 for the public.
It'll tear up.
And it'll be on Polygon. It's going to take place for secure on 25th, OG on the 26th, and public on the 27th. Go to the Discord for info on the whitelist. And you can mint as many as you want. And then that's all the info. So go check out the website, check out the Discord, and get ready for the mint. So very exciting. Well, hey, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Audience, appreciate you guys just being here with me through the thick, through the thin. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys. And Draco and Mr. Maverick, thank you guys. Presented the project really well. Websites presented really well. So this is one where I feel more confident telling people like, hey, look, this is out there. Then there's some projects where I'm at the end, I'm kind of like, this was great, but I would recommend people not look at this. So I appreciate you guys and what you're doing.
Thanks, James.
Yeah,
that means a lot.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, hey, hope everyone, if you're in the US or elsewhere where they celebrate Thanksgiving, get to sleep soon, and hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. And reach out if you guys need tweets when minting starts and things like that. Shoot me a DM and I'll make sure to get tweets out just to let my audience know, hey, remember we talked about this. It's going now. So yeah.
Awesome. We'll do.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. Hope everybody has a great evening. Thank you.
Have a good night.